Today, you have been weighed, measured, and found housing. Hoverboards are reaching 88 miles an hour. Consumerism is getting a little festive before our law segment, and Ncoin is blazing it up at 420. All that and so much more on this week's episode of Geeks of Nexus.
A world forged in conflict, claimed as homeland by the exiles, conquered as territory by the Dominion. There is only one whose words we can trust. Geeks of Nexus.
Welcome to episode number 18 of Geeks of Nexus. This is Monday, the 14th of September 2015. I am your host, Draycass, and the person you saw at the beginning was the ever-lovely Sparky. Hello, Sparky.
Hey.
You've nearly laughed, didn't you, at the end of that?
Yeah, those I'm pretty proud of those ones this week. Those are some pretty fantastic play on words and references.
You were, a couple of times people have said you look quite scary at the when you do your intros.
I was trying not to move my face, did you notice?
I did think you're trying really hard not to look scary.
Yeah. How can
It's really
how can I make this monster look sincere? I don't know.
I don't know how they could think you look scary. Oh, bless you, Sparky. How are you anyway?
Yeah, not too bad, thanks. Got over a little cold yesterday.
Oh, didn't.
But I'm ready and roaring today.
Little cold.
For some podcasting and some live streaming later today.
Yeah, we had some fun with your webcam as well, didn't we?
Yeah, had a nice scuffle, had a fight with my green screen over there.
It was the most funniest thing ever, and I really wish it was streaming live because that would look really funny. If we did a pre-show. That would have been the best pre-show show ever.
Yeah.
Anyway,
we never record them though.
No, we never. We
on.
always record too late. When something funny's happened, then I start recording.
Yeah.
So I can
And now you've missed it. We got it out of our systems. We're ready to be boring now.
Yeah, I know. It's terrible, isn't it? Honestly, the stuff we do before the podcast are the funniest things you'll ever see. And then we come in here and we're like, meh. Lost it.
Oh, we're all done now. I'm tired.
Oh, you're a bit. You disappointed me this week in Wildstar.
Have I?
In Nexus. Yeah, I haven't seen you at all. What happened?
I think it'll be. Well, yeah, I was just about to say. I think it'll be pretty difficult to disappoint you in Wildstar because I've not been there.
Explain.
There's someone who runs a podcast about Wildstar. I think it's just overzealous to be there all the time. I mean, it's important now that you're more active among the community that someone takes a step back and provides the little amount of information as possible.
What you're saying is let me do all the work. Is that what you're saying?
Well, you know, you've gone out there and you've done a lot of work, so I think I need to step back and do as little as possible. So yeah, pretty much. But yeah, I've done nothing this week because I'm still stuck on that attunement. Still cannot be bothered with the Malgrave Trail. Well, I can be bothered, but no one else can.
But there is a reason why you can't be bothered. You did tell me a decent reason, but I'm still going to scold you about something because I've just come up with a brilliant reason to scold you. Anyway, go on.
All right. Okay. Well, I'll finish this and then you can scold me. So yeah, I've not logged on because I know I need to do Malgrave Trail and no one else wants to do that, and so I'm not going to be able to progress in my attunement. And you know, free to play is coming up. When free to play comes up, attunement will be done with anyway, pretty much. Like I'll probably need to do one more thing and then I'm done. So I just think there's not much point running this marathon right now when in a couple of days there won't be a marathon to run.
It's a fair point. I can see why you wouldn't want to do it when you can do it much easier in a couple of weeks. That's fine. Mm-hmm. But why haven't you been in the PTR?
Oh.
See, that's what just came to my head just now. It could be the perfect opportunity for you to jump on the PTR instead. And you haven't thought of an excuse, have you? I haven't given you time.
I'm just letting all the other, this community is about sharing, Kim. And I want to let all the other media outlets out there delivering the Wildstar news to the people to have a chance before Sparky jumps in, to be the first there and get the breaking news.
Well, thank you. I'm sure they're very appreciative of that.
Because I'm a kind and generous gentleman. There you go.
Well, I've had the most horrendous shifts this week.
Right.
Ever.
So we're both happy.
I had to
Lovely people this week.
I did 7 days. I did a 7-day set of shifts. And the last two, I had like 2 lates, 2 nights, and I had to come back in for another late. So I finished at 7 in the morning, and then had to be back at work for 4 p.m. So that was just horrendous. And I still managed to put out like 3 videos, jump on the PTR, and actually go into my first raid this week.
Oh, you've been busy, Kim.
I know.
Bravo.
I know. So my little notes on the show notes, the first one says work sucks, which I've been into because I was going to come on and say I haven't done anything, but then in the last couple of days I have managed to do some stuff on my rest days, so I'm very, very proud of myself, pat on the back there.
Well done.
So last night, and I have to be ready, so I'm going to talk really slowly like you would give me this opportunity, but last night I jumped on Wildstar at about 8 o'clock. I was going to relax and maybe look at a few houses for our housing competition and do a few things. But you know when you jump online and your guild starts saying, hello, how are you? Good evening. Yeah. I jumped on and they were like, Draycass, come raid. Like,
oh no.
They only had 19 people and they were on Omna. So the idea was that this amazing guild that are called
Tonight at 9. Disaster area.
So I decided to speak too soon during the bangs. So that amazing guild called Disaster Area, we're going to break me into raiding slowly and let me like join on a Tuesday. So then we could start at the beginning and kind of go through it all and build it up slowly.
Get some gear, exactly, make my way up. But no, they instead I got dragged into Omna for my first fight. That seems easy.
Yeah.
It's no worries.
But do you know what? It was alright. I did alright. I said to them, I'm not even going to bother looking at my DPS meter. I'm just going to try and stay alive and just listen to what they told me to do. To be honest, I can't remember much of it because I was concentrating so much on not dying that I can't remember what happened.
What was like your DPS way?
I was DPS.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. And we managed to get to phase 3 every single time. And we got her down to 14%. And I was never the first person to die. So I was really proud of myself.
Check you out.
And I know. And they were all really supportive and helped me a lot. So thank you very much.
Awesome.
Disaster Area.
Sure.
And hopefully in a couple of weeks we can get her down.
Sounds good.
Oh, no.
How was it now? Because like that's the one thing that I have zero experience with is raiding. Like you've had a taste for raiding now on Wildstar, right? Did you enjoy it?
One fight. It was very enjoyable.
Yeah.
The mechanics are very, very fun.
How does it sort of compare to other MMO
it's
raiding?
a lot less static. I can only really compare it to WoW raiding because that's only the only real other MMO that I've raided in, like properly hardcore raiding. And having only done one fight, I'm in no way the person to give complete kind of overview.
I thought you were going to give some really insightful stuff.
However, having said that, compared to WoW, it's a lot less static. Like I know you've got to stay out of red stuff, and sometimes you've got to run around a little bit, but it's pretty much 2-dimensional, I would say. Yeah. Whereas I would compare Wildstar being a bit more 3-dimensional.
Okay.
Having to jump over things.
There's a whole load of Z-axis up in there.
Yeah. I think that's
good to hear.
Probably the easiest way for me to explain it in really simple terms.
Okay.
I don't know if that helps at all.
So there you go. Draycass 2015.
But I did enjoy.
If you're bored of WoW raiding, come to Wildstar. We have loads of Z-axis.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah, pretty much. But no, I enjoyed it a lot. It was fun. And the plan is to try and kill her before free to play. So we'll see what happens.
All right.
And I'm hoping I can hop along Tuesday and see the rest of GA. See how that goes.
Do you want to know my goals before free to play?
Nothing.
I'm gonna watch some movies. Gonna read a couple books. Maybe get some work done. play some other games, and maybe log on a couple times.
PTR, that's what you're going to do. That's your homework.
I should do that.
Your
Actually, I
homework
should
is the
say
PTR.
something I got reminded about when I was listening to Strange Tales from Outer Space last week that we forgot to mention last week.
Yeah.
Is those of you that haven't logged on to the PTR yet, like me, do so and take part a little bit, because when it ends, apparently there's going to be a unique title awarded.
There is going to be a unique title for everyone that's hopped into the PTR or
Yeah.
the beta test.
Yeah, so I will at least log in to the PTR at
Just
some
get
point.
log in once, just get a title. That's
Just get a title.
oh, there should be. You should have to log on for at least half an hour or something, and report
Yeah.
a bug to get the title. That's what I think. Make you work a little bit more.
If to report a bug. That's a good idea, actually.
Yeah, and then the other bit on my intro says hoverboard fun, but I'm going to leave that as a little hanger for the next bit. We have a couple of shout outs first. The first one is for Strange Tales from Outer Space.
Mm-hmm.
They gave us an awesome shout out on their podcast last week, and they did set you a challenge, didn't they, Sparky?
Yeah, they did.
But you're too chicken to do it live on the show, so you sent them a recording instead.
Well, it's theirs to do with what they choose. Yeah. Don't try to call me out whilst we're recording
Such a
this.
wimp. I am trying to call you out. They wanted to hear you do their intro in your voice.
Yeah,
And you're like, yeah, I've just sent it to them. So
yeah.
hopefully they'll play it on their podcast, and then you'll hear
Well-
it there, because he's too much of a wimp to do it on this podcast.
If they want to. So, yeah. If people listening to this
Shy and bashful.
want to hear that, then they can head to Strange Tales from Outer Space next week, and maybe they might play it.
Very good. And of course, Wildcast, the other awesome podcast out there.
Yeah.
For your tantalising ears, does that make sense? Tantalising ears doesn't make sense at all, does it? Can you have tantalising ears?
Well, coming from a very handsome gentleman indeed, I believe you can have quite tantalising ears.
So that's that. And lastly, but by no means least, the Construction Championship Clash Extreme is currently ongoing at the moment. Is it not, Sparky?
I have already judged a great number of people.
Yes.
Yeah. There's been some really impressive ones.
It's absolutely amazing. I sent you one last night. I sent you a little comment, didn't I? How to say?
I haven't seen that one yet.
How has he done that? I walk into some of them. I'm like, I just have no idea how they've created this. I just don't know. I'm not going to spoil anything because I want people to see the videos later. But I'm perplexed. Some of them are just really, really clever uses of these sort of objects that have given us in housing, and they've used them to create something else.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Like
Yeah,
using pipes to make chairs with and stuff like that.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
So you know the little hoverboard pipes for the hoverboard parks.
Oh yeah.
I've
Like
seen someone make a sofa out of one of those.
Really?
Yeah, because it creates a nice little arch. You see,
Oh, that's
little
awesome.
curve. I know.
Yeah.
There are
I've
some.
I want to give when I first went into it, I was sort of marking people based on like how detailed it was and like how much stuff there was. And then I came to this one plot, and it's one of my favorites. I gave it really high scores because it was really, really simple but elegant.
Simple, sometimes the best. Isn't
And then
it?
I had to go back through every single other one because I just had like a complete mind change. I was like, wait, this is amazing. Like all the other ones before, I might have like completely underrated. So I went back through every single other one and adjusted my scores. But yeah, I want to wait on that as well and like actually show people because it blew my mind. And it's just so simple. There's like not much to it. It's weird.
Very, very impressive. The things that people come up with in their head, and then they make it happen on screen. It's amazing. And what we've done so far, all the ones that haven't wanted to give us tours. So we basically gave people the option: do you want to give us a tour? Yes or no. The ones that said no, we've got them out of the way first.
Yeah.
And then we're getting together with iJustinia tonight and Wednesday night, I think we said, didn't we? And we're going to try and get all the ones that wanted to give us tours. So if they're online, we're going to hop on and go around. If not, we're just going to have to go around probably without them and do it, the three of us together.
Yeah, that sounds good.
It's fun. I've been enjoying it. I'm excited to announce the winners on our next podcast.
Ooh,
'Cause I
show
wasn't-
me the loot.
I was a bit worried we wouldn't be able to get through them all, but we've done all right, I think, haven't we? It doesn't take as long as you think it does.
No, it's pretty quick.
Yeah. So that's that. So onwards and upwards.
Hey, paper, Read all about it. Hey, grown-up, hey, big bouncer, eat some of this nose over here. Hey, chewer, this broadsheet's bigger than you. Hey, come on, guys, it's only 60 gold. Get back here.
News of the week.
So, this week's news of the week is all about holidays.
Yay!
We all love holidays. Who doesn't love a holiday? Especially when it's coming to the end of the summer. People have had their holidays, they're feeling a bit depressed because got to go back
Just
to
want the
work or
holidays back.
school. Exactly. So here we are talking about lots of holidays. So there was a stream this week with the devs, and this week it covered the Hoverboard Z Pre International, and we got told off last week by Mini Stabber for not mentioning it last week, but we didn't know a lot about it last week, and our show was like an
No.
hour and a half.
We don't
So-
go on the PTR mini stabber.
It wasn't even on the PTR then. It was mentioned briefly on the stream before.
I don't pay attention to any news
You don't-
sources, mini
you don't
stabber.
know he doesn't know what he's talking about. But the reason we held off is because I had a psychic intuition that we'd have more to talk about this week, which we do, incidentally. So we got a chance to run the courses, the 3 courses, with the devs, and it was the most fun I've ever had in my entire life, and I am not joking. I am seriously not joking about that. While I was doing it, I was thinking, I can't believe I'm this excited
Right.
for something that I'm doing in front of a computer. But I was seriously that excited.
Haven't you, you've got a good job, you bought a house, you've been married in your life.
I've never been married. No,
you
I'm
not?
not married, no.
I've seen pictures of you at a marriage ceremony.
It wasn't my marriage ceremony.
Oh, okay.
I was with my my other half, yes, but we're not married.
Okay. Oh, sorry.
We're living in sin.
Sorry.
Some people would say.
Just
No,
cut that out of the podcast, it's fine.
Yeah, we're not married. But
Okay.
no.
But yeah,
It
behind a
beats that.
PC doing a hoverboard event was the most fun you've ever had.
It was the most fun.
Okay.
I mean, there is a video out there that I have. Those of you that follow us on Twitter and read Reddit might have seen the video that I posted of me having the most amazing fun in the world. And I had so much fun. I had to write it in big red writing on the video that I was having so much fun. I can't.
Wait, you stuck up some text on the video saying, I'm having a lot of fun.
I put on there, seriously, this is the best fun I've ever had on the video. That was literally what I wrote on there.
Okay.
It's like Sonic the Hedgehog on speed.
I noticed that it sounds a lot like Sonic the Hedgehog, doesn't it?
Yes.
When
So-
you go through all the ding, 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 ding.
So basically, you start off, you go to the zone. So there's one, for example, in Celestion, one in Wilderun, and the last one is in Duradan. I don't know why I didn't put that in the show notes. So you've got the 3 at the moment, and the idea is that the event's going to go on for a few days. We have a date, actually, don't we? So it's going to be October the 21st to the 25th. And I'm pretty sure they're going to do this more than once a year. I think it's going to be something that's going to be reoccurring. It has to be, because it's just so awesome.
Yeah.
And you get 3 daily quests a day. I don't know why I said it like that. 3 daily quests
Right.
each day. I don't need to put that at the
You
end, do
don't
I?
need to say that
3
now.
daily quests. 3 daily quests.
Yeah, every
which-
day.
Every day, which
Yeah.
give you rewards. And we'll go into the rewards a little bit later. Basically, you go off, you use a little teleporter to go to the start of the race, and you'll see this big, like, glowing, spinning circle, which is the race start, with a big checkered flag for your start. And you get ready, you go into the circle, and it gives you a countdown. So it says 3, 2, 1, go, and you're off. Right?
Right.
And when you go, you've got to go through these little circles. So,
Yeah.
so it's like collecting rings in Sonic, pretty much. But when you go through the circles, you get a speed boost. I'm so excited I can't even talk. Which is stackable up to 5 times.
Right.
And then there's ramps as well. So there's ramps. Some ramps give you speed boosts. Some ramps fly you up into the air, and you are in the actual zones. So someone else could be going along questing, killing
See
animals.
100 people zip by.
pretty much. That's exactly what could happen. But because of that, all the red stuff that's on the floor can affect your race. So if you go near, the hurricanes, or
Oh.
someone who's fighting, and there happen to be some
Get
telegraphs,
dazed by a mob.
you could, it could
Oh my God.
you could get knocked down by
That
that.
sounds like bull.
No, it's
Poop.
awesome. It
I would
adds
be-
to like the drama.
It does, but I would just be so pissed off if that happened to me. Like, imagine if you're riding in first and then a bull just comes along and smacks
To
you
be
off your
fair,
mount.
most of it kind of happens in places where people probably wouldn't be killing mobs.
Right.
Like on rivers or up on
Yeah.
high mountains and stuff like that, and over lakes.
And that's why you need the hoverboard, not
Yes,
a.
that's why you need a hoverboard anywhere.
Yeah.
So you can do it on the Kitty, the Snarflinx mount, from what Mini Stabber told me.
Right.
But she didn't enjoy that time because she had the setless speed boost, and she said it was just too quick. She was missing rings and stuff.
Oh,
But I didn't try it on the Snarflinx mount, so I can't really comment on that. But yes, it's for hoverboards really, so that's probably why you shouldn't be doing it on your Snarflinx mount, because it just looks weird as well.
and it creates horrendous lag right now.
In some zones, yes, that's why I don't use it anymore. Everyone told me off because I was like,
Yeah.
really out. So yeah, that was the most fun I've pretty much ever had in my entire life. And if you want
Wow.
to go and see me have as much fun as I've ever had in my entire life, you can go and see the YouTube video.
I think the burning question I have, though, is how can it possibly compare to cross-stitching? What?
If you enjoy cross stitching, you stick to cross stitching.
Okay.
I'm going to be hoverboard racing.
Geeks of Nexus asking the hard-hitting questions.
That's it, exactly.
There you go.
So one of the questions that was brought up in the stream, of course, was will any of this amazing new race decor, i.e. the rings, the ramps, or just the rings, really, will they
Right.
be available in housing? So that people can create their own, because people do create hover parks,
Yeah.
and housing's going to get bigger. And then, of course, we've got neighbourhoods. So,
Oh my god.
exactly, think of the possibilities.
Oh wait, and they even said, I'm going to butt in here, they even said that they're delaying neighbourhoods because
Yeah.
they want to add something extra.
Oh, so maybe.
Ah,
so now
it's
we're just
gotta be.
Now we're just surmising, but you
It's
never
got to
know.
be. It's
'Cause
got to be.
They basically said that at the moment there are no, you can't have it in housing. However, that is something that they'd like to do. So you never know. Getting
I'm calling it right now, neighbourhoods. You're going to be able to do
racing.
hoverboard racing. Yeah, calling it.
So
That would be so good.
Because then you can do it all the time, not just on the events. So there's also some amazing loot you can get from this event. So at the end of each daily quest, you get a reward, and that reward consists of. You
can choose one of the following, right?
One of the following. Yeah, it gives you options. I think it's random in what you offer. There's a title, the Butthead. You might notice.
That's the actual title.
That's the actual title. You might notice that there are some references to a certain film
Yeah.
that might have the words future and back and to in, that they might have copied slightly.
Yeah.
So the Butthead is a title, and there's a costume that might resemble someone with the names Fly and Marty Muck. So like a cap and a cool little top and some trousers, and a hoverboard.
This one's the best one. I love this.
A hoverboard that is basically a DeLorean.
It looks just like a DeLorean. It's
It's-
done pretty well as
It
well.
is a DeLorean hoverboard. And as they joked in stream, and Sparky doesn't like this joke, it's named after DeLorean Walker. DeLorean, get it? Joke.
I'm pretty sure the listeners will be with me at this point. That is a bad joke.
It's not my joke. Anyway, it's fine. It's Garbine's joke. They can keep it. I thought it was
Right.
quite funny.
Great.
So it's a hoverboard that's like a DeLorean. There's also some pretty nifty toys and stuff that you can get. Hoverboard related toys. Which are quite awesome. So that's that. Everyone's very excited for that. People have been asking for hoverboard racing for a long time.
Sounds good, yeah. I reckon they'll put it in their own instance as well. Well, in its own instance, I should say.
Well, yeah, because there's been a lot of talk about the fact that there was mention on the very brief moment that they talked about it on the first stream. They mentioned there was going to be world leaderboards, and then on the second stream they've taken that back and said that they haven't got any leaderboards because they can't work out. I shouldn't say can't work out, it's probably the wrong word, but they can't,
Spaghetti coding. They can't figure out that coding
how to
to get it
implement
done.
it properly.
Oh, that's a shame.
And I wondered whether it's because it's not instanced. If they instanced it, it might be easier to do that. But because it's out in the open world, I'm wondering if that's why it makes it a little bit harder.
Because we've already got timers on dungeons and adventures and stuff. It pops up and says, dungeon completed in 21 minutes, 30 seconds or whatever.
Exactly. So that's why I'm betting on the fact that it's because it's not instance. That makes sense.
I reckon they've just chucked it in these zones to start with, just to sort of test it out and showcase it to the people.
Yeah. I mean, they have said that people can screenshot their time and send it in, and they might do something on the
right. Okay.
on the
That's going to be an arduous process.
I think after 2 million people have sent them, I'm being very optimistic for free to play here. When 2 million people have sent them screenshots, they might regret saying that.
Yeah. That's not that's not sustainable. Don't do that.
I think you might regret saying that as well.
Yeah.
But that's just that. So that's hoverboard racing. Another thing I meant to say, that when I was on the watching the stream, there was someone that I noticed. A name popped up, and I thought, I know that name. Is it the person I think it is? So some people will know this name, but the Coltrane, was on the stream. For those of you that don't know who he is, he's an awesome podcaster of Convert to Raid fame.
Yeah.
Who helped us out a lot when we started Epic Geeks. He did our intro, gave us a shout out on the podcast. He was just awesome. So his little name popped up, and I actually whispered him and said, "Are you the Coltrane or a Coltrane?"
We are one and many.
Yeah, and he just said, "Hi Draycass." I'm like, "It's the Coltrane," and he's checking out Wildstar at the moment.
Really?
So
that's awesome.
I'm hoping
we're Coltrane fanboys, really, aren't we?
We are all fangirl and fanboy.
You can't not love the Coltrane.
You can't. You have to love the Coltrane. His voice is even more epic than your voice.
Well,
it says something.
There's a line in the sand, Kim, and we're not going to cross that.
Anyway, there's a little shout out for Coltrane. And that's that. So along with the X-Pre Invitational, which I could talk about for the entire podcast because I'm that excited about it, but I'm not going to. They have also put up on the 10th of September on the official site, they have told us about all their future, or at least for the rest of this year, plans and events.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes. So before we go on to the ones we kind of already know about, there's these bonus events that have sprung up. Have you seen these?
I've seen them.
Great idea. I know other games do similar things. So what they've basically said is bonus events are all about giving you, the player, more currency, more XP, more items, more often. We can turn these bonus events on and off whenever we like, so we expect to continue adding to the list of bonuses until we have something going on, more or less, every weekend.
Wow, we were.
So the first one that's going to come up is on the weekend of October the 15th to the 18th, which is Power, Prestige and PvP. A lot of P's there. I think this is about giving a bit of love back to the PvPers, so they get the first one, because they're feeling a bit unloved at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, Free Play comes along, get everyone back in the PvP servers, have a PvP weekend. Here you go.
That sounds good.
So, some call PvP the most dangerous game, it says here. We call those people easy targets. Lock, load, jump into PvP during the Power, Prestige and PvP event to earn double prestige. The PvP currency you can earn you can use to buy amps, gear and cosmetic rewards. So basically you get double prestige during that weekend.
Sounds good.
Then on the weekend of my birthday, November the 27th to 29th, remember that weekend,
Right.
You don't have to send me presents, but they would be greatly appreciated.
Okay.
You know what this one's all about. It's
Don't
about
send
leveling
her
up.
anything.
Shush. So I don't really need to go into that too much. It's extra XP that whole weekend. Level your alts or your
Makes
mains
sense.
if you're still leveling. So it's nice that they're bringing something like that into Wildstar. Other games have had something similar for a long time, haven't they?
Yeah, I mean, there's not much to comment on. They're just trying to draw people to the areas that are feeling a little bit lackluster at the moment. PvP. I mean, the major two complaints I hear about Wildstar is PvP is dead and the starting zones are dead.
Yeah.
So, more PvP rewards, more XP rewards, and let's hopefully get some people there.
Exactly, because you can
So,
get
yeah.
old players back leveling alts, and that helps
Yeah.
the new players that are coming out leveling new tunes, etc., etc. So that's awesome, and hopefully, they'll do other such things. So they've said they more or less have one every weekend of some form of variety.
Yeah,
I mean, you've
sounds
seen
good.
like other MMOs have done things like certain battlegrounds give extra rewards, don't they, to try and
Yeah,
get them
and
in.
like WoW had the dungeon finder. Like if there weren't enough tanks queuing or something, it would give a small benefit, little bag satchel of goodies to
extra
tanks that
reward.
queued up. So yeah.
Yeah. So onwards and upwards to celebrations and holidays. Our favourite time of the year. We've actually got some dates now.
Hey.
Shades Eve. We're all looking forward to Shades Eve. We spoke about it a bit on the last podcast or the one before. Can't remember. They all kind of blur into one. So it's going to come on October the 19th to the 2nd of November. So that's a couple of weeks, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a good chunk of time there.
Good chunk of time. That's when all the celebrations are going to happen in the capital cities, and the adventure's going to be up, and you get to defeat Jack Shade, etc., etc. And all that. So that's about the time you'd expect it, isn't it? Really?
Yeah.
Over Halloween.
I mean,
Not that's great
yeah.
to do with Halloween, of course. It's a completely separate holiday.
Yeah, no, nothing to do with Halloween. Don't know what you're talking about.
But one thing we didn't know a lot about, obviously we knew something was going to happen at Christmas. The word Winterfest has gone around before. We knew there was going to be a Winterfest holiday. I haven't really heard much about it, but now we know it's going to be, surprise, surprise, December the 18th to January the 1st.
Wait, you mean it's not at the height of summer?
No,
What?
it's going to be at Christmas time. Well,
That's ridiculous.
if you're in Australia, it is the height of summer.
Yeah,
Ah, didn't think about that, did you?
there you go.
So you see, we're not all the same.
Yeah.
Talking of that, I've been really, really cold today. Have you been cold today? Is it cold where you are?
No,
It's been
No.
freezing down here.
really?
I was listening to SDOS last. I forgot to mention this at the top of the show.
Right.
SDOS. I was late to bed last night because I was watching their stream on Twitch,
Right.
their post show. I was like, oh, there they are. So it was like I set up till 2:30 in the morning
Holy cow.
because of them. Because obviously it was normal time. But they all talk about how hot
Right.
it is, and I was like, it's not hot.
Well, they're over in the Americas lands.
It's obviously very hot over there. Now over
Yeah.
here, autumn's coming. Yeah, the sun's just kind of switched off.
Yeah, well, our 2 days of summer have just passed, so
It's all wet and windy. Anyway, typical Brits talking about the weather.
have to fit it in somewhere.
So, we have to fit that stereotype. That's all it is. So the Proto Stars Gala Winterfest Extravaganza. Yes, Winterfest is going to be sponsored by Protostar, and I actually love this little twist because it's all about consumerism. Who'd have thought that Christmas had anything to do with consumerism? It's basically ripping Mickey at the fact that Christmas has become such a consumer-led thing,
Yeah.
isn't it?
I walked out just yesterday. I walked out the barber's after getting this ludicrous haircut.
Very nice haircut, by the way. Can't really
Thank
see
you very
it because your
much.
head's kind of chopped off by the cam, but
All right. Well, yeah, you don't need to see
there
it.
you go. Yeah.
And I walked past a little. Well, I walked out of it actually after buying some milk for my cups of tea. Walked
Important
out.
to tea.
Yeah, I know.
Stereotype.
I'm
Yeah.
drinking it right now, actually. Walked out of the shop, looked up for some reason. I can't remember why. I think it was as I was driving out again. But there's already Christmas decorations up. Not joking, on the
No
shop I
way.
walked out of. There were icicles and snowflakes.
It's September.
Yeah, it's
It's not even really autumn yet.
No.
We're still in British summertime.
And that's why I love this. That's why it relates to Winterfest, because it's just Carbine are taking the absolute piss out of consumerism, how they've gone so ridiculously overboard on Christmas.
Do you want to read that little thing? Just
Yeah,
to explain.
what they say about it.
So everyone can get their take on it and know what we're talking about.
Yeah. It says, the Protostar Corporation is on Nexus in force to celebrate the true reason for the season. Consumerism. Buy things, help Protostars sell things, and don't let the war on Winterfest undermine what really matters. And that's money.
Mm-hmm.
This greatest of all the materialistic holidays will send players on adventures throughout Nexus, culminating in an instance where players from levels 10 to 50 can teleport to the big shopping spree in the sky, the super mall in the sky to be exact. Get scaled up to max level and are impaged through its shops, but try to escape before succumbing to the many overzealous sales clones. Brilliant.
Says it all, doesn't it, really?
I love it. It's like, do you remember, what was that old 90s show? Was it like, what was it called? God damn it, was it like Shopping Dash or something?
Oh, a supermarket sweep.
Yeah, Supermarket Sweep. It reminds me of that.
Dale Winton.
I really hope that there's an event in here where you're like pushing a trolley around and you have to collect as many items as you can.
Was it just a UK thing, or was that, well, did they have different versions of it around the world?
They probably had different versions of it, but I just remember the UK one.
We should send the link to Supermarket Sweep to Carbine and see if they can get that in there. For those of you who don't know what we're talking about, just search for Supermarket Sweep.
Yeah.
And if you see this guy with a really bad orange tan, you know you're in the right place.
Yeah. It was so horrendous to watch. God.
Oh, that was quite funny. Yeah. So it's nice to know that they're keeping the 10 to 50 instance thing going as well. So I guess that's going to be a theme for all the kind of big holiday events.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to know if we're going to have any more sort of over the rest of the year, whether they've got anything planned or sort of in store.
Yeah, absolutely.
At the moment.
There must be loads more. There's probably gonna be a Valentine's
Easter.
one.
Oh, think about Easter as well.
Easter, yeah.
The lops. You've got to get the lops involved in Easter.
I
see,
like that.
See, Easter lops.
That's really good. Yeah, they should make the lop a playable race for that period of time. I've always said that lops should be the next playable race.
And the big blue guy everyone wants. That no one knows the name of.
The big blue guy. He shall forever be dubbed Big Blue Guy.
Big blue guy.
Nice.
So that's pretty much that. Have you got anything else to add about holidays or anything you'd like to see?
Well, I've already said I'd like to see a Valentine one. I quite like that. There should be some sort of, on WoW there was the big love rocket. I'd like to see something really corny and, horrifically ugly like that in Wildstar. I'm pretty sure they could make an amazing, like, love hoverboard or whatever.
The Loverboard.
The Loverboard. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Yeah, I'm on board now. And it should be like the first two-person mount.
Yes. Yes. That's it. We just got to... We're going a bit X-rated now. Just got to straddle a hoverboard.
Uh-oh. Right, we should get back on track.
Let's just move on. So now, onwards to our lore segment, before we get into anything a bit more serious. So what's this week's lore segment all about, Sparky?
It's just a little bit of narration carrying on from the Rise of the Cassians last week. This one is kind of small. It's just there's no characters talking, so sorry about that. But next week's, it's going to be awesome, I promise. There's loads of awesome stuff happening there.
Nice. And we try and get Beholter in as well. He wants to do some voices for us. He's very excited about that. So we need to try and see if we can fit him in somewhere.
We can do that.
So here he is.
Rise of the Cassians, Part 2, The Golden Empire. Cassus had rebound from the unsolved disappearance of Nomad. Its existence had been willfully forgotten, deleted to obscure footnote status in encyclopedia overviews of the space age's infancy. Like many cultures before it, the Commonwealth was disinclined to publicize its missteps. But although the ship itself was all but forgotten, Nomad's hard lesson was not. The universe was a strange and dangerous place. Its conquest was unlikely to be a cakewalk. But when it came to territorial expansion, the Cassians were patient. They would conquer the cosmos, piecemeal, one planet at a time. Instead of single recon craft, they now dispatched squadrons of colonization ships, escorted by heavily armed frigates. There were other reasons for militarizing space exploration. While descent was virtually unknown on Cassis, and always rapidly quelled, it was a different story in the colonies, where decades of hard toil in dreary backwaters had predictable results on the loyalties of even its most exalted denizens, changes in command from deaths or defections mounted. But such bleak conditions also produced exceptional warriors. The greatest among these was Draycass Toria. Contemptuously disregarding her own ancient and illustrious antecedents, to become the youngest and most famed sword maiden in history. By age 19, she and her mostly female disciples had brought dozens of bickering warlords throughout the far-flung colonies to heal, restoring dozens of worlds to the rapidly expanding Commonwealth. Then came the day where the Makari Armada darkened the skies over Meridia to tender their proposal. Ultimately, Draycass accepted, accompanied by several hundred of her sisters-in-arms who refused to be separated from her. She boarded the Makari ship. A week later, the fleet departed. Over the ensuing decades, these events were unceasingly dissected and mythologized, with even the authenticity of the recordings themselves subject to fierce debate. Even some who had been present that day began to doubt the veracity of their memories. Then, 31 years to the day after their departure, the ships returned. This time, an organic emerged.
So, from our lore segment to Ncoin. A nice easy transition. Why would you not go from lore to Ncoin? I put this on. This is a little bit of information for people, really, because while I was on the PTR, because now in phase 2 of the PTR you can purchase, they're trying out the cash shops, you can actually go and buy things as real money. And for those of you that don't know, the things that you purchase on the PTR will not get transferred over to the live game. The same as any of your characters that you're currently leveling will not get transferred over to the live game. No matter how many times you post on Reddit or on the forums, your PTR characters will not be transferring over to the live game. Right?
They're going to go deleted by.
I just thought I'd make that perfectly clear.
Yeah.
But if you do purchase stuff on the PTR, you will basically get a whole load of Ncoin when the game goes live. So everything you buy will get deleted, but you will get your cash equivalent back. So it is worth going in there and experimenting. A little bit of an incentive there for you, really. You're not losing anything by doing it. So just go and have a play if you are considering buying anything. So these are obviously subject to change, but when I went to purchase some Ncoin, it basically took me to my account page. It had to take me out of the game on the first occasion just to set up how you want to pay, and then after that you don't have to go through all that rigmarole, but the first time you have to go and set up your payment and everything else.
Right.
And the options that it gave me was to buy 400 Ncoin for £4.25. You might have to
is this pound?
This is pounds,
right.
So you have to convert that into euros or dollars or whatever you're in. I don't know what the conversion rate is at the moment. It's normally about, it's normally about half.
It's 65 pence to the dollar at the moment.
There you go.
I think.
So just a little bit out. So 400 Ncoin was £4.25. 800 Ncoin was £8.50. 1600 Ncoin was £17. 4000 Ncoin was £42.50, and 8000 Ncoin was £85. So how do you feel about those pricing ranges?
I mean,
it's a bit of a jump, isn't there, from 1600 to 4000?
Actually,
That's my first thing.
Well, and also, I'd kind of expect if you're buying more, you get a discount, but apparently not.
It doesn't seem that way.
400 Ncoin for £4.25.
Yeah. 4,000 for
800 Ncoin.
42.50.
No, wait. 800 Ncoin for £8.50.
Double, yeah.
But, yeah. Obviously.
Unless this is just... I'd like to think maybe it will be adjusted, but I don't know why they wouldn't have it already on the PTR.
Yeah,
Roughly
I mean,
how it's going to be.
the only advantage to spending more money...
Is you get more Ncoin.
No, you don't get more Ncoin. The only advantage to spending more money is that you don't have to click a button a couple of times. You don't have to do
That's
lots of
kinda what I meant.
separate purchases
Yeah.
for 400 Ncoin.
Yeah.
It's just like
Yeah, it
ease of
makes a-
access
Yeah, it makes a
instead of
difference.
bundle reward. Like,
yeah, it makes a difference whether you spend £4.25 lots of times
yeah, exactly.
or one purchase
Or
of
£85 once. If I was Wildstar, I'd highly recommend doing even just a small discount. Like do 8,000 Ncoin for £83. Like it's not much, but at least it's something.
It just makes people more likely to spend that little bit more because they think,
Yeah.
oh, I might as well just spend an extra £5 because I'll get those
I
extra.
might need more Ncoin in the future.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's the first thing we noticed. Again, these are subject to change, so it might not be how it is in live. And I got to choose between PayPal and credit card, which is nice to have the PayPal option. It's always awesome.
Okay.
And I thought I'd just put on here just so you can compare what you get for your money,
Right.
the things you get for your buck. So if you bear in mind that I'll give you the 800. 800 Ncoin is £8.50.
Yep.
So what's that? Roughly about $15, something like that.
Oh,
Something
wait,
like that.
£8.50, about 12, 13, I think.
Okay. So if you want to go for the costume sets, currently in the PTR, the costume sets are 790 Ncoin. So your costume sets are about £8.50, pretty
Right.
much. If you buy your 800, that's what you're going to get for it. Or 395 Omnibits, which is the currency you get through in-game play. Dies are 30 Ncoin, so you could get lots of dies. No, hang on, that's not right. Because I put a little comma there. 230 Ncoin. 230
Oh.
Ncoin. Or 115 Omnibits. Housing items. So the sky remodelling, for example, is currently 150 Ncoin or 75 Omnibits. The ground remodelling was 390 Ncoin, 195 Omnibits, and the decor pack is 80 Ncoin or 40 Omnibits.
Wow.
Now the mounts, and I've got a bit of a question mark around here. So the mount that is currently on the PTR is 790 Ncoin. So again, you'll get that for your £8.50 spend of 800 Ncoin
Right.
or 395 Omnibits. The character slot unlocks are 230 Ncoin. Costume slot unlocks are 150 Ncoin. But it's got down here expert riding license 790 Ncoin.
Oh,
So the riding license is the same as the mount and the same as the costumes. I wouldn't put costumes and mounts at the same price. Maybe it's just me, but the mount seems very cheap compared to other MMOs. MMOs.
yeah.
MMOs.
I think
Not that I'm complaining. I don't mind that.
I'm happy with how much the character slot and costume slot unlock is. Costume sets, I think, are a bit too much. Maybe. Oh, actually, no, I suppose they need to do some remodeling for that. Yeah, okay, that's fine.
Put a lot of work into them.
Yeah.
Don't mind spending
but
£8 for
I
a
think
fancy
expert,
costume.
Yeah, but I think expert riding license should be way more.
More?
More, yeah.
I thought it was expensive.
Because imagine, is that the 80 plat one, or is that the, 10 plat one? Expert riding license.
It's the top one. Yeah, 80.
It's the 80
at the
plat.
moment.
Okay, to get 80 plat at the moment, you'd need to
That's true. If you buy
buy
it with cred.
2 loads of, yeah, you'd need to buy 2 loads of cred. No, 3 loads of cred, which is
I don't know,
lots
it's
of money.
£11.99, isn't it? £11.99 at the moment, so it's 12 quid.
Yeah.
24, 36 quid.
£36. Or, so £36 is expert riding license right now if you were to buy it with real cash. after the free-to-play, if you bought it with real cash, it would be £8.50.
Okay, that's when we ran a bit, because looking at it that way,
Yeah.
if we're talking in terms of real money and not how you
Yeah.
get stuff in-game, because obviously if you've just got your 80 plat in-game,
Yeah.
it hasn't cost you anything. But then you can still... But it's still the same with this, because it's 395 omnibits. So you can still get it for without spending real money. But you're now spending £8.50 instead of £36
Yeah.
to get the same amount of what would have been plat. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
You'd have to spend £36 to get 80 plat,
Yeah.
and now you spend £8.50 to get 800 omnibits, which will give you the expert riding license for 790 omnibits.
Ncoin.
Ncoin, sorry.
Omnibots. Yeah. Yeah, I think we need to compare all this down to time invested in game, right? Like 80 plat to get that in game would take a long time, right? Unless you're like an expert at playing the auction house commodity broker or whatever. Yeah, and then it's just it's far too cheap if you were to purchase it with real money. Far too cheap.
Maybe they want more people to have it. Maybe that's the thing. Maybe not enough people. I mean, they've got the figures. Maybe people aren't buying it at the moment, so they want to give it to more people. It's anything I can think of.
Or maybe they want to bring everyone up on the same level now that hoverboard racing is out.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, that was something that someone mentioned actually on YouTube. And if you talk for a minute, I'll get his name up because it's only fair that I give him a shout out.
Right, okay.
That's right, and I can kind of do what I talk. But one of the things he mentioned was that leaderboards would be a bit unfair at the moment with people with different riding skills.
Yeah, well, of course you can't. Yeah, you can't really compete unless you have the fastest, options available to you.
Unless they worked out a way to. Hang on. Started playing the video.
Unless they put it in an instance that already has the scaling capability and scaled everyone to the same riding license.
And this is the difficulty, isn't it? Because I like the fact that it's out in the open world, but then it takes away them giving the ability to be able to scale everyone the same speed-wise and to do things like leaderboards.
I'm not sure if I'm a fan that, if I'd be a fan of it being out in the real world. Like, imagine if it's the opposite faction that's having a race through your zone as a level 10 and there's 50 level max level characters going past you and some of them have fallen off their mounts and they're pissed off so they gank you a couple of times.
That's why I'm not on a PvP server.
Well, there you go.
Maybe going ruining my fun.
But they're trying to get the PvP servers back and that would not help, I don't think.
Yeah, that's what happens when you play on a PvP server though, isn't it? So you make a choice, you live with them choices. But
there's nothing stopping them, like taking a whole zone landscape. Like they could just take Galeras and put it in an instance.
Yeah.
And then you're kind of riding through the real world where it would feel like it.
Yeah. We'll see. It was Lord Usagi, I think. Usagi. Lord Usagi.
Is that from the official forums?
No, from YouTube. So on commented on the my video.
Oh, okay.
Just said that we were having this discussion with Mini Stabber about leaderboards, and he's just put leaderboards wouldn't work well with categories like different speed buffs that stack, expert riding license, etc.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's that. So I just thought I'd just bring that up just so people had a rough idea of how much things were going to cost them.
Mm-hmm.
On free to play, should you choose to use your real money, I'm probably going to be broke looking at that. So that's that. On to community events. We have got another dev event coming up in the form of PvP again.
Hey.
Now, they had a community event over in the NA, yes. And then everyone in the EU went, that's not fair, we want one. So they gave us a PvP event. And then everyone in the NA went, that's not fair, we want a PvP event.
Right.
So they're giving them a PvP event.
Okay.
So now, for the EU, we're demanding another event.
Jeez.
Just to balance it out. Because we've had two each, it's only fair. Isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm just going to put it out there now. Everyone in the EU, start stamping your fists on the table and say you want one. And then we'll just go around like that, and then they'll just have to keep giving us, you know, then the NA will get one, then we'll get one, and and we'll just keep going like that. We'll just keep making them give us these events.
Well, how about we just have set event dates? Really?
No, it's more fun this way. It's
We
more
need
fun
to
this way.
argue.
We do.
I want blood.
So on Wednesday, the 16th of September, in 2 days' time, at 5:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. in PDT, the devs will be queuing for some friendly Willatiki Temple. They'll be queuing as both factions, because you know what they say, if you can't beat them, join them, it says here. So it's an NA event being held on the Entity Mega Server, because no one's on the PvP server. Devs will begin queuing up for Willatiki Temple at 5:30 p.m. PDT sharp, and will fight for glorious 2 skull punching hours. This is for level 50s, practice grounds events, so that's where you'll find them. In that spirit, all participating devs will be issued a level 50 character with war plot quality items and won't be using any GM powers. Aww. I still think it would be funny just to turn them on from time to time.
It would have been fun to summon a couple Omnas in the battleground.
Oh, it'd be quite funny. You'll be able to identify developers by their first name, CRB. We don't actually make employees change their first names. This is just an in-game character name, it says.
Right. Okay.
It would be funny if you did sign a contract saying you will now be called CRB something. CRB
Yeah.
Sparky.
CRB Sparky.
You will change your name. It does say again, reiterating, important, devs will be queuing for practice in bowls and italics, battlegrounds only, so as not to alter any personal ratings. This will also give more people an opportunity to potentially play with the Wildstar developer. Queue up, have some fun, and earn some bragging rights, it says.
Awesome.
Shoot down that dev.
Good stuff.
So that's that fun stuff to look forward to. And I did think of something while I was there. Oh yeah, something else. On that note, there's been a couple of people in the forums saying that they can't get onto the PTR client to use their beta code. No, they can't get into game with their beta code because they're basically trying to open up using the Wildstar client, the actual client.
Right.
So if you've got a beta code and you can't get it to work, as in you're trying to log in, it's not working, it might be because you haven't downloaded the PTR client. So
Yeah,
you need to go
that's a
along
good start.
to the forums or the website and go and get the PTR client. Just a little PSA
Yeah,
whilst I remembered it.
that's a good suggestion.
So some other events going on. We've got one for the EU and one for the NA. There's a costume event for the EU with a closing date of the 15th of September, so you've still got time. It's closing tomorrow. This is for Jabbit and Lumini, for those of you that are holding out on the PvP server there. There is a link. If you go into the official forums and you go on to the where is it? General discussion. There's a thing at the top that's got player community events, player run events, and on there you will see a link to the costume competition. And what he's basically doing is, rather than doing it in game, he's asking you to take a screenshot of your character.
Right.
And that is how he's doing it. So there's one entry per account, regardless of server and faction, one screenshot per entry only. No Photoshop or any kind of modifications allowed. No add-on screenshots such as character shot. So it's got to be in-game shots. And there's some quite fancy photos there. It's almost like a photography competition.
Right. People trying to pose.
Yeah, little poses going on there in their houses or in front of certain things. Got a nifty little chewer there with a tash. Got some candles. He's awesome. There's a chewer that's far too happy while shooting from his gun. You might see that. So go and have a look at that and enter should you wish. We'll keep an eye out, see what happens. There are some prizes as well for this. Reward is 1 Fancy Pants seal code. It works for EU only. So if you're in NA, you could probably enter, but you won't be able to use the Fancy Pants code.
Right.
So there's
Okay.
no point.
Well, it's all about the fun.
Yeah. And the other one, the other community event, we both like this one, don't we? Not that we don't like the other one, but this one's uber awesome. It goes on the uber awesome scale. Wild Ball. For those of you that don't know what we're talking
That's
about,
bull.
the ball. Wild
I thought
Ball.
you said boar before the podcast.
No.
It's not a wild
People
hog.
have said that I think it's just my accent. It's because I grew up in Wales, so I have an odd way of pronouncing my vowels. I apologise, and sometimes people think I say things that I don't say.
You do have
I've
trouble
had
pronouncing
this-
your vowels.
I've had this before where people have said, I thought you said something else. I'm like, no, to me it sounds perfectly normal. So Wild Ball, it's with 2 L's, Wild Ball is...
Got there, yeah. It kind of, if the L's like only come at the end, you go like, oh.
Well, it's lucky it's not, because technically in Welsh it should be Bull.
Yeah.
Not going to go there. It's getting
stuff.
too weird now. For those of you that haven't seen, there is a YouTube video up. I don't know what happens if you search Wildstar Wild Ball, but there is a link. God, who's saying that? I'm laughing. There is a link in the forum in the same place I've just said. In the general discussions, community run events, you'll see a little link. So Wild Ball runs. I can't. Maybe you should say it because I can't say it now without laughing.
You're gonna, okay, look, you do the sentence, and whenever wild ball comes up, you pause and I'll fill in.
Okay, go
It'll
now.
be like a bad dub.
Say
Okay,
now.
go for it. No, start again.
I have. This could be the first word.
Alright. Wild ball.
Takes place in player housing, in the housing plots, and it's a mini game that people have created in their housing, which is pretty much football or soccer, as you call it in America. And basically, there's a little ball in the middle, and you have to use certain skills and abilities to move that ball towards the goal. And then when it goes through the goal, there's a goal either end, you score a point. And then there's a little board up on the side of the plot that tells you what the score is. 1-0, 1-1, 2-1, etc. So you can keep running the scores. So that is what
Wild ball.
is. It's basically soccer or football in housing plots. And there is going to be an event over on Entity on the Exiles faction. This is going to be on September the 16th of September at 4:30 at PDT. I'm guessing that's PM, because no one's going to be up at 4:30 in the morning, are they?
No.
Let's face it. And the location is Coach Patia's plot. Coach Katia, that's really hard to say. Coach Katia's plot. That's COACHKATIA at her plot.
Mhm.
Or his plot. I'm guessing because it's Katia, it's a her plot at 4:30 PDT on September the 16th. Go and have a go at that. It's very fun.
Yeah, it looks good. If you've been playing ridiculous amounts of Rocket League like me, this is the game for you.
Yes, exactly. And it's one of those awesome community-led events that's happened. Someone's created it. It's fun. People can go and play it.
Mm.
So that's that. Let me just have a double check. Oh yes, there is. Also, they're going to be giving out 1 plat each, or 1 pence. I'm guessing it's plat each to all members of the winning team until my prize purse runs out. Oh, that's nice.
Wow.
It's very
Nice.
generous. Very generous. So go along, have some fun, and maybe win some plat too.
Awesome.
That's that.
In 300 yards, turn right.
No. I know a shortcut up here.
Please turn around when possible.
No, I know this way is
I'm an
faster.
advanced GPS stabilizing quantum powered universal guidance system with bonus sarcasm and condescending modules built in, you lumbering oaf. Please follow the damn directions or face destruction.
These add-ons are starting to piss me off.
So this week's add-on of the week is one that came in very helpful for me this week. It's Omna Helper,
Ah.
which, surprise, surprise, is helpful for you if you're fighting Omna. And the first thing that the guild called
Tonight at 9.
Disaster
area.
Told me to download was Hoverboard.
The delay's too long to do that. I need to make that shorter.
You need to make that much shorter.
Yeah.
Just realised that one. So this is a nice little, it kind of gives you a little map. And there's little dots around the map and you can mark it. Basically when you're fighting Omna, you're given various locations that you have to stand or go to during the fight. And she's also got this ability called Spew, where she basically goes round spewing out horrible lots of messy stuff you don't want to get hit by, so you have to run around in a big circle, so you get a bit disorientated. Omna Helper helps to tell you where you're meant to be, or where you're meant to go.
Right.
So you mark down where your position is, and it'll put up a nice little icon to say, this is the southwest corner, this is where you need to be. So you can find yourself and orientate yourself fairly easily. It also gives you 3 little like compass marks, which are little lines which help to tell you where to stand to avoid there's a knockback that she does, for example. You stand the line, avoid this, and basically gives you safe zones. So if you are currently in GA or fighting Omno and haven't got this, I'd imagine most people have, or you're looking to get into raiding, that is something that you need to remember and go and download. That is Omno Helper. That was basically a little very quick rundown of it, just for your listening pleasure.
Quick's all you need.
Quick is all you need.
I won't be needing that add-on for a while.
Well, when it goes free to play, you'll be attuned, and they'll be sticking you in the deep end. So there you go.
That was my idea of a while though, until free to play.
3 weeks, 2 weeks, 2 weeks. Scary.
Hey, you've reached Geeks of Nexus. Unfortunately, Twitter's carrier pigeons were lost at Alicia Sea or something, so, leave a message after the tone. Bye.
So this week's Tweet of the Week, she's going to be renamed as Scrappy Jack's Question Time.
Is it from Scrappy Jack again?
It's from Scrappy Jack.
Yay, Scrappy Jack!
He says, at Geeks of Nexus, is it good to take some time off from gaming, like hashtag gone fishing, hashtag AskGON, from the 12th to the 20th, so that's what I'm going to be doing. So he's not back yet. He's away.
He's gone.
He's gone. He might not even hear this podcast as he comes back on the 20th. He's off, he's having a break.
So he's not even going to hear this reply.
He might not even hear the reply, but my answer is yes. Of course it's a good thing to take some time off from gaming.
Yeah.
You don't want to get, especially before free to play, it's good, if you're going to have a break like Sparky is, now is the best time to have a break, isn't it? Let's face it.
Ooh, the cheek.
Well, I meant that, I did actually mean that genuinely. I meant that genuinely. If you're going to have a break, now is the best time to do it, isn't it?
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I took a whole year out back when I was playing WoW. No, I actually did. That's not a joke. I'm not taking a year out now, but I did take a year out from all raiding and pretty much every game. I just didn't log on my computer for a year, and that really helped me out. I think focus on studying is what I was doing back then, I guess. But yeah, it goes well. I mean, on MMOs especially, you just get burnt out.
Exactly. Real life is important.
Yeah, and because MMOs and Wildstar right now is so grindy before free to play. Absolutely, it's a good idea to take time off.
They encourage you to log in every day, don't they? That's the whole point of an MMO. And then they put the little signs up on the loading screen saying, it's good to meet your friends in game, but don't forget to meet them outside of the game as well.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Health and safety PSA right there. So that is it for this week's Geeks of Nexus. I have been Draycass, and we are part of the Epic Geeks Network. Thank you very much for listening. I have been joined by the wonderful Sparky. Thank you, Sparky.
You're welcome.
Thank you for spending your time with me. You can find us online at epicgeeks.co.uk, where you can find out about this and other gaming podcasts that our lovely people do. You can find us on Twitter at Geeks of Nexus. You can Gmail us at geeksofnexus@gmail.com. Gmail, email. I was going to kind of carry on and pretend to do that on purpose, but I didn't. That's our email address. You can find me on Twitter at Draycass. Where can we find you, Sparky?
At Epic Dark Sparky.
And we will be back next week to announce the winners of the Construction Championship Clash.
Ooh.
Extreme! We're going to go meet our Justinia now.
Yay!
Go look at some
We're going to
pots.
go judge you, the people. We've said that far too many times this podcast.
We have.
You,
far too
the
many
people.
times. You, the people. So that's it. Goodbye.
Bye!
This podcast is part of the Epic Geeks Network. To find out more about our other gaming podcasts, head to epicgeeks.co.uk.